In a small mountain village surrounded by tall pine trees and whispering winds, there lived an old woman named Mira. Her home stood quietly at the edge of the hill, made of rough stone and covered in wildflowers that grew wherever they wished. The house looked ordinary, yet anyone who entered felt something rare: peace. Mira lived alone. She had no husband, no children, and not a single coin to call her own. Her clothes were simple, her meals humble, but her heart was full. Every morning she woke up before the sun rose, lit a small fire, and boiled a pot of soup made from the few vegetables she grew behind her cottage. While the soup simmered, she would hum an old tune, one so ancient that no one else remembered its words. People from the village often visited her. Some came with heavy hearts, others just for her company. They said that being near her made their worries feel lighter. Maybe it was her smile, or the calm in her voice, or the way her eyes seemed to say, "Everything will be all right." Even when she had almost nothing, Mira never complained. Her peace came not from what she owned, but how she looked at life. One evening, as the sun sank behind the mountains, a soft knock echoed at her door. Mira opened it to find a traveler standing outside. He looked tired but carried a strange glow, as if he had walked through many lives. "Can I rest here for a while?" he asked politely. Mira nodded and welcomed him in. She poured him a bowl of warm soup and placed it on the table. The traveler ate quietly, his eyes observing the humble room. The cracked walls, the old wooden chair, and the single candle burning softly in the corner. After finishing, he smiled and said, "You live a simple life, yet there is something powerful about your peace. People in the next town speak of you as the happiest woman in these mountains." Mira laughed gently. "Happiness is not a big secret. It's just learning to be thankful for what's already in front of you." The traveler looked thoughtful. Then, after a pause, he said, "I travel across lands helping people find what their hearts truly desire. Today, I'll offer you a choice." Mira raised an eyebrow. "A choice?" "Yes," he said. "There are 3 doors, each hiding something different. Behind one lies your deepest desire. Behind the others, nothing special. You may choose any one." Curiosity stirred in Mira's heart, but not greed. She followed the traveler out into the moonlit meadow. There, standing in the open field, were 3 doors that shimmered softly in the night. The first was golden, shining brightly under the moon. The second was made of polished wood, smooth and elegant. The third was old and rusted, barely standing upright. The traveler gestured toward them. "Choose one. Behind it could be wealth, beauty, or anything your heart wishes." Mira stood silently for a moment. Then, without hesitation, she walked straight to the rusted door. The traveler looked surprised. "Why this one? It looks broken. Don't you want to try the golden one?" Mira smiled, her voice calm as a river. "Because in my life, the most beautiful things have always come in old and worn forms. Peace came from hard days, love came from loss, and wisdom came from mistakes. The golden door may shine, but I've learned that not all light brings warmth." With that, she pushed the rusty door open. Inside, nothing, just an empty space filled with dust and silence. The traveler waited, expecting her to sigh or look disappointed. But Mira simply stood there, then began to laugh softly, a laugh so light it felt like music carried by the wind. "You aren't upset?" he asked. She shook her head. "Why should I be? I came into this world with nothing. Every day I live, I find new reasons to smile. I didn't lose anything behind this door. My peace was never locked inside it. The traveler's expression changed. He slowly opened the other two doors. Behind the golden one lay piles of shining treasure, gold coins, jewels, and riches that could buy an entire kingdom. Behind the wooden door, there stood a mirror. In it, Mira saw her younger self, beautiful, radiant, and full of strength. The traveler turned to her. You could have had all of this: wealth, youth, comfort. Don't you wish you had chosen differently? Mira looked into the mirror for a long moment. She saw her young reflection smiling back, then faded away as she spoke. Once, I thought happiness meant having everything, but now I know peace is when you need nothing more. Gold can make life comfortable, but it cannot quiet the storms inside. Beauty fades, but kindness grows brighter with age. What would I do with youth if my heart forgot how to be thankful? The traveler stood silently. Her words felt heavier than the gold behind him. Mira turned away and began walking back toward her home. The night sky sparkled above her like a blanket of stars. The traveler followed her with his eyes as she disappeared into the soft glow of her candlelight. Inside her little stone house, she placed another log on the fire. The pot of soup still bubbled gently. She sat down, wrapped herself in a thin shawl, and began humming her old tune again, the same melody that carried peace to everyone who heard it. Out in the meadow, the traveler finally spoke to the empty wind. Now I understand, he whispered. The richest hearts don't chase treasures. They create them. From that night on, the legend of Mira spread far and wide. People spoke not of her house, her garden, or her old age, but of the light that never left her smile. In our lives, we often stand before three doors, one shining with promises, one that looks perfect, and one that seems useless. Most people rush to open the golden one, chasing dreams that glitter from far away. Few choose the old door, the one that looks empty, but sometimes that's the only door that brings peace. True happiness isn't hidden in wealth, fame, or beauty. It lives quietly inside gratitude. It's in a bowl of warm soup shared with someone, in a smile that costs nothing, in the courage to be content when the world tells you to want more. So when life offers you doors, don't chase the ones that shine. Look for the one that feels honest. Because peace is not something you find. It's something you build, one humble moment at a time. In the end, the secret to a peaceful heart isn't magic. It's the art of seeing light in simple things. Be thankful for the little fire in your life, the people who care, and the breath that keeps you going. That, my friend, is the real treasure, one that no golden door can ever give.